Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain a very important chapter of class 10 science, chemical reaction and equation. First of all, you should know what is a chemical reaction. A process where existing chemical substances called reactant are transformed into one or more new substances known as product through rearrangement of their atoms and breaking and forming chemical bonds. It is called a chemical reaction. For example, here you can see magnesium is combining with oxygen to form the product magnesium oxide. Here magnesium and oxygen both are the reactant forming a product magnesium oxide. To determine whether a chemical reaction has taken place, we can observe the following things: change in state, change in color, evolution of gas, and change in temperature. Now we will see how a chemical equation can be balanced. First of all, you should know why there is a need to balance a chemical equation. I hope you all know what is the law of conservation of mass that you have studied in class 9, which states that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. That is, the total mass of the element present in the product of a chemical reaction has to be equal to the total mass of the element present in the reactant. In another word, the number of atoms of each element remain the same before and after the chemical reaction. For example, in this chemical equation, there are 1 atom of iron in the reactant side and 3 atoms of iron in the product side. So we will add 3 here to balance the equation. Then there are 2 atoms of hydrogen in the reactant side, 2 atoms of hydrogen in the product side. So it is balanced, but there are 1 number of atoms of oxygen in the reactant and 4 in the product. So we will have to add 4 here. Now the equation is balanced. We will take more examples. I would like to explain it in detail by taking a question of NCERT, question number 6, balancing the chemical equation. First we will have to see that what are the number of atoms in the reactant and the product. There are 3 numbers of atom of hydrogen in the reactant, but 2 atoms of hydrogen are there in the product side. So for balancing it, we will write 2 here. Now there are 4 atoms of hydrogen in the reactant side, but 2 in the product side. So we will add 2 here also. Now the number of hydrogen atom are 4 here and 4 here. Number of atoms of nitrogen are 2 here in the reactant side, and the number of nitrogen in the product side are 2 here also. Number of atom of oxygen are 8 here, 6 in HNO3 and 2 in calcium hydroxide. So there are 8 number of oxygen are in the reactant side. 8 are in the product as well. You can see 6 are in the calcium nitrate and in water as well. Now the equation is balanced now. We will take another example. There are 1 number of sodium in the reactant side, but 2 number of sodium in the product side. So we will add 2 here. Oxygen are 6 in the reactant side, 2 here and 4 here, 4 here. Then we will add 2 here to make oxygen in the reactant side 6. Hydrogen in the reactant side is 4 and hydrogen in the product side is also 4. Now the equation is balanced. We will take another example. Sodium is 1 here, sodium is 1 here, chlorine is 1, chlorine is 1, silver is 1 in both sides, nitrate is also 1 in both the side. Equation is already balanced. We will take another example. Barium is 1 in both the side, chlorine is 2 here, chlorine is 1 here, so we will add 2 here. Hydrogen is 2 here, hydrogen is 2 here. Sulfate is 1, sulfate is 1 here. Equation is balanced. So this is how the chemical equation can be balanced. Now we will see what are the type of chemical reaction. First of all, the combination reaction. It is a type of reaction in which a single product is formed from the two or more reactant. It is called a combination reaction. Here calcium oxide is combining with water to give calcium hydroxide. Another one is decomposition reaction. Here a single reactant break down into two or more products. Here calcium carbonate is breaking down into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide, and when this reaction takes place in the presence of heat, it is called the thermal decomposition reaction. For example, iron sulfate is breaking down in the presence of heat to form iron oxide and sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. Another reaction is displacement reaction. In this, an element displaces another element from its compound. It is called a displacement reaction. Here you can see iron is displacing copper to form bond with sulfate, and the product form is iron sulfate and copper. Here zinc is displacing copper to form bond with sulfate, and the product is zinc sulfate and copper. Another reaction is double displacement reaction. It is a reaction in which two different atom or group of atom are exchanged. It is called a double displacement reaction. Here sodium is forming bond with chlorine and barium is forming bond with sulfate, forming the product barium sulfate as well as sodium chloride. Now comes the oxidation and reduction. Oxidation is the gain of oxygen or loss of hydrogen. And if a substance gain oxygen, it is said to be oxidized. Here copper is oxidized in the presence of heat to form copper oxide, and reduction is the loss of oxygen or gain of hydrogen. And combining these two reactions occurs redox reaction. It is a reaction in which one reactant is getting oxidized and other reactant is reduced. Here copper oxide is reduced to copper by removal of oxygen, and hydrogen is oxidizing to water by the addition of oxygen. Then comes to the corrosion, which means when a metal is attacked by substances around it, such as moisture, acid, etc., it is said to be corrode, and this process is called corrosion. You must have observed that iron articles are shiny when new but get coated with a reddish brown powder when left for some time. This process is commonly called rusting of iron and is example of corrosion. Rancidity is when fats and oil are oxidized. They become rancid and their smell and taste changes. This process is called rancidity. So this is it. I hope you all get the chapter and you can make the notes from it. For more such video, you can like and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.